What's up, nerds? So I'm here today with my buddy Speed Force Spectre. How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. And today we're going to be talking about My Little Pony: A New Generation, which is a Netflix film. Now, this movie is being directed by Robert Cullen and Jose Ucha. I think that's how you say his name. I hope I got it, or their name. I'm not sure. It's starring the voices of Vanessa Hutchinson, Kimiko Glenn, James Marsden, Sophia Carson, and Lizzie Kashi. I hope I said her last name too. And the synopsis for this movie is the film will center on a Sunny Star Scout, on an outcast and young Earth pony who sees hope in Equestria, where friendship and harmony have been replaced with paranoia and mistrust, and where all three species of ponies live segregated from one another. However, when she meets a lost unicorn named Izzy, the two embark on an adventure involving musical numbers, a jewel heist, conspiracy theories, and the world's cutest flying Pomeranian as they travel to new lands while facing their fears and turning enemies into friends. So, I wanted to ask you real quick, what is your like level of fandom when it comes to My Little Pony?
Pretty high,
Mhm.
honestly. I got into the franchise during the big Brony hype around. I got into it New Year's around like I think it was still 2011, 2012. I think I'm not really sure, but
Okay.
around the time season two was airing, I'm not sure what year that was.
And was that when you say season two of Friendship is Magic?
Correct.
Okay. And now see, because mine is a little different. I used to watch the show way back in the day. I think it's Gen 2. Don't quote me on that because I really don't remember. It's like way, way back. And then I watch it with my daughter. She loves My Little Pony, and we'll watch together and everything. Um,
Funny thing about that. So I wanted to plan this video. We had this video planned out like a long time ago, and
right.
I was like, "Oh, this is great! I got another fellow person to talk about it." But as we slowly talk to each other, I realized, oh, you just kind of watch Generation Four, not like fully as a full season, but you kind of watch it out of context with your daughter, and
I
I thought that
do.
was just so funny.
I do. I do. She fills me in sometimes. Like I'll just be like, "Who's that?" And then she'll just be like this, and I'll be like, "Okay." And I was like, so. But yeah. But I do like it. I mean, it's fun. It's a fun show. I think it's got like a good message of like everybody's different, and our differences make us stronger. We should be friends and celebrate our differences and all that good stuff. And they do it in a fun like cartoon playful way, and I think it's a good show.
Oh yeah, I definitely feel like Lauren Faust, and even when Lauren Faust left the show, the rest of the team did just like a really good job of definitely making a fun slice of life cartoon mixed with an action and adventure cartoon.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And everything. I like oh gosh, I don't remember her name. I like the two like queen ponies, like the moon and sun ponies.
Celestia and Luna.
Yeah, yeah. I like Luna though the best. I like her a lot.
Celestia is my favorite, and then Cadence is my second.
Oh, gotcha. Right on, right on. Okay, so I have so speaking, we're talking about who is your favorite Friendship is Magic pony?
Pinkie Pie is like number one, hands down.
Right on. For me, I do like Twilight Sparkle. I like her a lot. She's super fun and everything. I think that's my daughter's favorite, but I think she likes Pinkie Pie too because she's I don't know, but kids change their minds left and right. So who out of this generation five, who is your favorite pony from that we know of? So like what we know of them so far? Who is your favorite?
It's a tie between Hitch and Pip. I don't know if you read the character bios yet.
I did not.
Okay.
I probably should have done
Essentially,
that for this video. But go ahead, I'm
okay.
listening.
I'll run through them pretty quickly. Um, Sunny is pretty much hopeful. Um, I forgot. There was a bunch of other stuff, but essentially, She makes smoothies, which we saw kind of in the trailer.
Right on.
Um, Izzy, she is a creative type. She loves to make arts and crafts. Pip is a princess, but also likes to sing. Also, her whole gimmick is being a pop star and an influencer. Uh, Zip is I forgot what she likes one thing, but she also likes science, which definitely surprised me, which I was not expecting with the character design. And then Hitch is essentially a mixture between Fluttershy being a huge person into animals, but also liking music as well. So I feel like Hitch and Pip are definitely my favorite so far, just based on them being kind of similar, but also a little bit different as well.
Right on. Do you think it was smart for them to add a boy pony into the mix as like part of the main crew?
I feel like it was definitely important, mostly because there was a conversation I saw today on Twitter. Uh, Spike is a main character, but he isn't a main character. You don't really see him next to the main six in a lot of promotional stuff.
Hmm.
Like he's still important, but he was kind of reduced to Twilight sidekick essentially, and
Right.
especially how he was treated back in season one, and definitely when Hasbro was starting things off. Like they like for years they had Spike on all fours like a dog almost, because I think that was the original concept design, but that changed in the show.
Right on. Um, so is any part of you bummed that none of the old ponies from Generation 4 are in this movie? And if they are, I haven't heard anything as far as that goes.
I have no idea if the main six will show up in the show. It could be a possibility, but for right now, the show lasted practically half a decade. It
Mhm.
had 9 seasons, one movie. Equestria Girls was a whole spin-off in of itself.
Ugh.
And then you have Pony Life, which I personally enjoy. But these characters were around for so long, and over the course of time, you could tell the writers were kind of not getting tired, but you could kind of tell there was like kind of like a sense of like this theme being lost.
Mhm.
And I'm glad that they stopped while they were ahead. And
Right on.
essentially, one thing that the fans have been talking about is there's still Generation 4 merchandise still being made, and they feel like it's essentially kind of just in a case Generation 5 doesn't work out, which I don't think that's the case. The thing about or not this generation, but Generation 4, there wasn't really a main cast.
Mhm.
I was born in 1999, so I'm used to. I don't remember the generations of how it was. I know it was like Gen 2 and 3, but I'm not entirely sure which one I remember the most.
Mhm.
But if you were to ask me who was the main character back in those days, I would have probably said Pinkie Pie, because that's all you saw in the commercials for me.
Right on. Yeah.
So essentially, the main six essentially became pop culture icons, kind of like how the Autobots, a lot of people know Optimus and Bumblebee and the rest of them. That's where the main six are currently. And they're essentially the face of the brand right now. Well, the Gen 5 characters are currently. I feel like Generation 4 will always be that for them, but those characters have their time in the spotlight, and I think it's time to definitely move on, but not forget the roots. And I'm kind of glad that they decided to make it new, but also in the same continuity.
Right on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. With this new movie, how do you feel about this like new animation style that they're going with these new ponies?
So I said this in a video talking about kind of my perspective on how Hasbro and how they kind of the business side of it. And Hasbro did do DreamWorks Trolls toys, and they still are. And I feel like Trolls very much influenced them to make this into kind of a theatrical movie in a sense.
Mhm.
And I think that it's definitely a smart move. It's still in that awkward phase. A lot of the designs are, I shouldn't say off putting, but you could kind of tell it's in that infancy stage. But I like the character designs and the backgrounds. I think they're all nice looking and like very pretty. They did a good job making this look pretty theatrical as it could.
Right on. Yeah, yeah. I like the old style of animation, but I do like this new style. I think it's, it's more modern and everything, and I think it's fun and, it's like, yeah, yeah. So okay, so what do you think with the synopsis and everything that I read? What do you think are some pros and some cons of the story that we of what we know so far?
Okay, so far I don't think that there's any cons,
Hmm.
mostly because Generation 4 was the basis of this type of storytelling. So I don't really see a con in it. I would say the one con I do have is how much it's tied to Generation 4, because again, they decided to keep it in the same continuity. So we'll see how it's handled, not necessarily in the movie, but definitely in the TV series and whatever they have going forward for it.
Right
But so
on.
far, I see a lot of pros.
Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure. Um, yeah, a con for me is I'm gonna have to buy a lot of My Little Pony toys. That's definitely a con. Um, okay, so now I read the synopsis to you and everything, and we saw the trailer and stuff like that. And I did a little bit of research and everything because so I wanted to ask you with the fandom, the My Little Pony fandom and everything, do you think this new storyline and slash plot that there will be division among the fandom? And if so, how do you feel about that? Because I listened to some YouTube videos, I read some stuff on Twitter and all that stuff, and I was curious as somebody that's like really deep into the fandom, what you thought it would do. Do you think this will be divisive as far as that goes?
It already has been divisive. There's already petitions to go back to Generation 4,
Hmm,
which
that's so
clearly haven't gone
interesting.
through. Um, but there's definitely a group of fans that are kind of like, if this doesn't work out for me, that's fine. I have X amount of content from Generation 4, and that's
Right.
perfectly fine. I could still be in the fandom, but not into the continuation stuff. And that's pretty much it. Um, there's also, I have to kind of talk about it given the recent plot and everything. You have those group of people who I'm just gonna say it like it is, Clownfish TV, for example,
I did listen to their
kind of
video.
who are bringing up stuff that, like, they say they quote unquote watch the show, but they've been having these type of themes and messages in it, and it's like really nothing new.
Hmm.
It's just the terminology used in the articles or whatever that don't exactly, probably wouldn't be something representative of like a director or a writer, for example. They would just say, hey, we're just kind of doing a good moral, good message. That's it. Um, so you have those group of people, which really I have to question, why are you in the fandom in the first place?
Mm,
But other than that, that's really the only kind of division that's going on right now.
gotcha.
In terms of, do I think that this would affect the movie? I would say no. Mostly due to the fact of its actual target audience. I'm sure kids will definitely eat this up.
Yeah, right on. Yeah. I don't think that like me as an adult, I'm gonna watch this movie with my kids, and I don't think that me as an adult I'll take it too seriously. As far if there's a, I am a little bit kind of, getting sick and tired of seeing politics in my TV shows like every other day, but at the same time, I'll watch this, and I won't, I'll just be like, okay, whatever about it. And then my kids definitely, they don't care. They just, like, my daughter just wants to see ponies and Pegasuses, flying around in fun colors and stuff like that.
Like I don't like, in my opinion, like I don't really view this as political,
Hmm.
even though that there are some things that reflect real world events. Like I wouldn't really call being kind to one another a political statement,
I
really.
agree with that. Right on. Well, I think that what, like you said, Clownfish TV, because I did listen to their latest video, I think, on this subject, but I think they gravitated to the word activist in a synopsis that, and I was all like, well, I was like,
And I talked about this in my video. Um, the main six were essentially activists of friendship. Sunny looks up to Twilight Sparkle and the main six teachings of friendship. That's really all she's doing. They used, I would say, activists in the proper term of what this is, but even then, I would say being an activist isn't inherently a bad thing. You do have those extreme people, which I don't know why Clownfish TV and other channels kind of took that, the more extreme side of it, and applied it here, which it
right
doesn't
on,
really make sense.
right on. Yeah, no, I think that's a solid. I think that's a solid argument slash point. Okay, so now, do you hope slash think that these characters will transfer to a TV show?
Okay, so I'm glad you did bring this up because we have the movie next month.
Yes.
After that, we have a 44-minute movie ish, kind of like straight to DVD, but it's on Netflix as well. And
Oh,
then
I
we
didn't
have
know that.
a TV series coming in 2022.
Oh, okay. Well, then, see,
So
I
I
should have
feel
done some
like,
more research.
well, this information wasn't fully really known necessarily. I forgot where the information did drop though.
Okay.
But it's not a well-known fact unless you're in the fandom and you're in
Hmm.
the know about it. But they essentially set the groundwork to essentially create a bigger narrative, which Ponies has been doing that for years. So I'm glad that they're using the multimedia advantage that they presented in Generation 4 and applying it here to the Netflix landscape, which I think it'll translate pretty well. I talked about this in a previous video, but um, the recent Barbie show, I forgot the name because they change it a lot.
Mm.
But the current show has, they'll do like, I think like 3 seasons of one season, and then they'll change it and do something completely different. And then recently they started to do movies. So there's that. So I think Generation 5 is going to follow in that footstep.
Right on. Right on. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. I'll probably end up watching that show with my kid too.
The one
Um,
thing is, I'm not sure how, from what I've heard, the show might be in CGI as well. So I'm not really sure how the budget's going to look for that.
right on.
Also, and given the voice cast, I'm not sure how the budget will work for them. I think Eliza Koshy will definitely stay. I'm sure Sophia would definitely stay. And Kiko Glenn, she'll definitely stay, mostly because she's a voice actress.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I like her a lot.
and Vanessa Hudgens has some grip on Netflix, so I'm sure she's definitely staying.
Right on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like that Kamiko Glenn. I like her a lot. Yeah. And her pony Izzy is my favorite one. So, um, okay. So now I don't know if this question even applies anymore, but what do you think is the future of My Little Pony?
In terms of right now, I think they'll if I think it'll be multimedia. Um, I think they'll probably, I'm not sure if they'll do a sequel necessarily, but I could see that in the future. Um, I could see multiple seasons happening. I think really if they keep the multimedia idea going, especially since it's only on Netflix, I think they'll be in a good position. Now, whether or not spin-offs will happen is kind of up in the air, but I think if they streamline it to be as simple as possible, but also at the same time, one problem, I wouldn't really say it was a problem, but there's a lot of stuff in Generation 4 that ended up being toys. For example, Twilight being an alicorn, that was all Hasbro's doing
Mm,
instead of the actual writers.
mm.
And then you had the Crystal Empire, which introduced like translucent ponies.
Oh,
That was Hasbro. I feel like the show managed to translate those things properly into the plot well. And I feel like if both Hasbro and the writer staff are on the same page, but manage to intertwine it well, I think it'll be definitely a lot better than how Generation 4 did it. I feel like they did it fine, but I feel like there could have been more to be desired. I feel like Twilight being an alicorn princess, they handled that pretty well. So I think that if they do kind of like ideas like that and kind of expand more, I think that they'll do a good job.
right on. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like more product I'm gonna have to buy, but yay and stuff. Do you think they'll bring
I'm not.
back villains? Because
Yeah,
I feel like
that's an
this.
interesting question because so far right now, the villain's kind of up in the air whether or not it's two characters that one character hasn't been revealed in the trailer, but there's a character named Phyllis.
Mm,
People think she's the villain, but also Queen Haven, which was at the end of the trailer. She's a
right.
Pegasus, and also the mom of Pip and Zip. So maybe they're the villains, but it seems like if there is a villain, it's going to be very small scaled, if anything else. But bigger threats, I could see that maybe in the future, but I'm not sure the full direction of where they want to go, really.
Yeah, because I
Um,
go ahead.
oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I feel like a lot of the time with these newer cartoons, there's no villain. And I think that a hero, is defined sometimes by their villain. And I think that, I understand that the point of this movie is to bring the ponies back together and bring back magic and everything back to Equestria. But I just sometimes I feel like it's almost better to have a actual thing or person that you're fighting against instead of just being all like, hey, we need to overcome our phobias and be friends. And I'm all like, yeah, why don't you just fight though somebody and everything.
I will say this. I think for this movie, it was a smart idea to do this, mostly because this goes back to the original pilot for Generation 4, which I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Do you remember that?
I don't.
Okay, so a bit of a recap. uh Twilight's all about learning and stuff. She never had friends. She's like, nah, I'm good, I'm gonna learn about magic and stuff. And then Celestia is like, okay, this is you. I'm gonna send you off to Ponyville for the celebration of when I banished my sister. So go off to Ponyville, go meet friends.
Oh,
She's
I
like,
think I remember a little bit of this now that you're saying it. But
and
continue, I'm listening.
essentially throughout the first part of the pilot, it was about her getting introduced to the rest of the cast. And then the second part was Nightmare Moon's return and each character getting their element. There wasn't
Hmm.
really a, like, I wouldn't say Nightmare Moon was a big threat necessarily, but there wasn't really anything, there wasn't like a fight or anything necessarily. So I think they're just kind of using the basis of the pilot to kind of do that. And then from there, like season 2 had like Discord, and then the rest of the show had more of a rogues gallery of villains. And I think that's probably what they're probably going to do. And I think that's a good decision.
Right on. Is there a villain that you'd like to see come back?
I would definitely say the three villains that they pretty much put into stone. So that was Queen Chrysalis, um, Cozy Glow and T-Rex. I think those would be good characters to definitely bring back. I'm not sure whether or not they'll be reformed or not, but I think it would be an interesting idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say T-Rex. I always liked him on the show. So yeah, no, I think this sounds like, I mean, it looks like a fun movie to me. I think the animation looks good. And like I said, I do enjoy what I have seen, I have enjoyed. So I think that this will be a good time and everything.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
streaming
with
on,
me.
yeah, and it's streaming on Netflix. So, and I have a Netflix subscription. So it's, it's free, kind of.
Oh, speaking of that,
Mhm.
I didn't bring this up, but I'm glad you brought it up now. Them moving to Netflix was the smartest decision they made. This was originally going to be a Paramount movie and it was going to go to theaters, but they changed their mind to be Netflix, which I forgot what year, but it was definitely around Pony's big hype, but also around the time there was definitely a decline in it, mostly ratings wise. But for a good couple of years, Ponies was in like that top 20 area of trending on Netflix. So
Hmm.
I think that whether or not like the big part of the fan base, even if they're gone, the kid fan base will definitely probably make it to be in the top 10 or top 20 area of Netflix. So I think it's going to be a success, whether or not the bigger part of the fandom will stay tuned in. And I feel like your daughter's a good example because it seems like she kind of just watched the show on loop.
Yeah, yeah. If I got stuff to do that day, I'm just like, here, watch this. And then I just put it on. And you know how Netflix is. It's like the next episode will start in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And all right, you guys. So that is our discussion about My Little Pony, A New Generation, Generation 5. And that will be streaming on Netflix on September 24th. So I think you guys should check it out. It looks like a fun movie and everything. And I think that you'll like it. If not, then, oh well. Tell us what you guys think about this. Go ahead and leave all your fun stuff down below. Who your favorite pony is, who your favorite pony of this next generation is. Any comments that you have, you can leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. Speedy, you won't mind.
I wouldn't mind either.
All right. And if you're new to our channels, please hit that subscribe button. We'd greatly appreciate it. And we will see you guys on the next video. You guys have a good day. Bye.